Hello, it is Lord Hammer. I'm streaming some 2D4X today. I thought I would start the stream with an Excel spreadsheet because there's nothing more exciting than an Excel spreadsheet. Um, Actually, I was looking. I just randomly clicked on the save game JSON and I noticed that it had this underline and I was like, I wonder why this underline. Who cares? And then there's a fucking typo right here. So we gotta fix that. Uh, so let's fix that. It says unhelpful is what it's supposed to be. Yeah. I wonder how I never noticed this. So it's just um, this that's the problem. Shift in. What? What are you doing? Oh, yeah, we don't care about this. Wait, we don't care about this. This is getting saved in the perk description. Yeah, we don't care about that. We care about where it's getting it from. It must be in a resource under the perks. I wonder how many of these. Well, luckily we only have 2. Man. And then I also not note. Look at it. It's spelled right there. Let's make sure that I didn't copy and paste this. Oh, I did. Look, it's not finding the description. Perk. How is this sorted here? Here it is. It is in here. Yeah, that. Then I also noticed leader of people is actually wrong too. Let's do this. I guess I can double click this. Nope, see, that didn't work. We can copy this, put it here. And this should actually have underscores. Are they both like that? They both are like that. So let's actually copy this whole thing. Well, actually, that will work. That will work. Let's make this right. Oh my god. Whoops. All right. Then, well, it's probably only used right here. Let me click in there, motherfucker. Right here. Oh, I gotta click this button. Speaking of clicking into things, I gotta turn on the auto find for YouTube. Double check that YouTube is working. It looks like it's working. And then back over here. Yeah, coding is kind of boring to observe. Okay, leader of people, leader of people, leader of people. I noticed when I get sidetracked and start yammering, I get more viewers. So when I'm not talking about coding or doing coding, it's kind of an interesting thing where we have a perk bonus. It doesn't say what that bonus is. It's just a number. It works right now, but we'll have to expand perks later. Man, for some reason, my voice is so loud today. I wonder what's going on my sound settings. I actually want this 54. That seems too high. We'll leave it for now, though. I have it on 35 on my other computer. 35 is the standard. Maybe we'll do that. We'll go to 35. That way, you gotta keep it consistent. And it's still, my voice is still loud, which is great, I guess, to a point. All right. I don't know why that would change. Let's see. So what are we actually doing today? We are going to, let me pull up the GitHub. And let me put this here. So what we got here is our project. So we have a problem with dead people. So in combat, people can die. We fix that. it seems to be working. But when a person dies in combat, they need to be put in a dead person list. And I'm still not sure why we're keeping track of these dead people. Like, I don't really know. So I think what we're going to do is we're just going to stick them. Oh, well, no, this one doesn't matter because it's going to get, when we save it, it will, that one we don't care about. Yeah, all right. When we save it, it will overwrite this. So what we're going to do is I think we'll just put them in with the county where they're at, even though they are for a different faction, because I don't really know, and we'll sort it out later. I mean, later I'm going to forget why we did this, and I'm going to be like, why the fuck is there all these other dead people in here? And maybe if we set it up so that the player can look at the dead people in the county, we'll have it broken by faction or something. Or we could have it faction based. We could put a faction dead people list instead of a county dead people list. We could put the dead people, and we could put what they died of too. That'd be kind of interesting. We could put that in our faction. Yeah, we could totally. I didn't even think of this until just now. I thought about like what we were gonna do last night or this morning or something. So we could put a dead people list and what they died of. Starvation. We'd probably want it to be a button. Yeah, why don't we do that? We can do it by faction. Okay, so we'll move that list. And then you can look at see what's killing all your people in the county they're in. So let's actually put this in. We'll do in our faction control, which is blank right now. We will go in here. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We have these old research things. I made a copy of research, so that's why this all says. So we have a title that says it's turned off. So let's turn that back on, and let's do faction. Roguelikes usually do... Wait, did I call that a title? No, I just used the activity. We probably just need word faction. Let's see what we got. Title. I think we're getting away from things saying title. Word faction. Copy this. Go back over here. And word faction. Then we got a margin container. I'm assuming we can't see it because it's turned off. It probably pushes this shit down so that this is at the bottom, I would guess. Yeah, and there's a VBox. We can put this title. Actually, let's put in this VBox. Do we have a button we can use? No. We will add in a button. And they usually, so I was going to say, they usually call it a graveyard in like roguelikes. Oh, look at this thing. So I knew it. Hey, Joker, how's it going? It's funny that you showed up right at this very second, because I was talking to Critter the other day, and I knew it. I knew there was a way to have right click on the button. I was like, there's no way. And he was looking at it, and this wasn't, we must have been looking at something else. And then I looked at the docs, and it didn't mention this. Maybe I was looking at old docs or something. So anyways, he was doing something. And I was saying, I bet you Joker would know this. Yesterday, what happened yesterday? So yeah, this was like last week. He was doing something. What was he doing? He was right-clicking on a button to make something move between two things, but he had turned, it wasn't a button. He had made his own button basically. And I was like, why don't you use a button there? And he's like, you can't right click a button. When we was looking at the docs while I was on the screen, I was like, man, I swear to God, you could. And it was just had, you know what? It was the signals. It was this, he was looking at the signals. Oh no, your cat died. Man, I'm sorry to hear that. Was it expected? Yeah, he was looking at the signals. So I bet you if you clicked this, mouse right, and then pressed, it would do the, that. I knew there was a way to do it. I was like, there's gotta be. Keep pressed outside. Because I used the buttons. There was a similar thing in a different one of my projects. So I think I don't want to call it a graveyard because that might be like a thing, phrase. All dead people. All dead people. This is, that's why I was calling it a title, because it would have like capitals and stuff in it. Okay, we can do the title thing. Whoops. It's gonna be all dead people. And then we will translate. Yeah, my cat disappeared for a 3-day weekend. It was actually lit. Oh, I was gonna search. Control. What? Okay. I was gonna search for this and I forgot that I was gonna do that. Let's do it. Yeah, my cat disappeared for 3 days during a 3-day weekend, and I was wondering if it had died. So I no, kind of know where you're coming from a little bit. Then he reappeared. That's fine. We want it to be case sensitive. Oh yeah, this is the place I never can figure out where you put like case sensitive in this search. This is all, I guess we'll see when it can't find it. But this all looks like enum stuff, so that should be fine. But back to what we were doing here. We're going to paste this thing. Spry just jumping around, then age finally hit it like truck for the last 2 weeks, maybe 3. Oh my God, that's awful. A cry only to you. I'm very sorry to hear that. Todos los. This is a title, though. I don't know how you do it in Spanish if you capitalize every. Oh well, who cares? We're gonna have to go through that shit anyways. Back to this. I have the Spanish in there. Today, I am doing a lot of clicking of the wrong things. Make sure that's not there. We want this to compact. We would like it to shrink to center. So did you have to take her to the vet and put her down? Because that sounds awful. I've never had to do that with a pet. It sounds terrible, though. This is going to be all dead people button. And then this we will get rid of. And then I don't know what this other stuff is. So we could just delete this other stuff because it's from the thing we copied. And then in here, once you click this button, we'll open up another child that will be a scroll box. I just deleted a scroll box, a scroll container. And then we'll in here we'll put a VBox container. Is this gonna work how I'm thinking it's gonna work? It's not. It may. We may have to put a background on it. We'll see. Right now, we'll have to adjust it later, probably. This needs to be inside the margin container, though. No, we need this to be a panel, actually. A panel container. And I'm wondering how in-depth we should do this, because this could take a significant amount of time if I want to dick around with it for long enough. Okay, so that margin container is not going to fly. We actually want this margin container. And look, it gives us some spacing. Wow, that's intense. That's very intense. They wouldn't. Why wouldn't they? Then this will go in here. We're going to need a close button inside of this close button. I wonder what does this keep over the close button? This. It does. So it leaves the close button visible, which is strange. I guess I was just using it to push things around. I'm thinking that maybe what we do instead. Yeah, this is what we'll do instead. This could actually, we could just throw a list up for right now. I basically just want to be able to check to make sure this is working. Not buttons, not very complicated. This should be faction title label. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Instead of, we'll put this in this margin container, this scroll box. We'll delete this. We'll get rid of this button. This will just be temporary. It's kind of like the other thing we did for diplomacy, where it's just like, green. What green? You mean all of these controls? Yes, there is a lot of controls. And then we have a VBox container in there. Yeah, I would know. That's what I was actually, I literally was like, am I going to have to do another control for a list of dead people? And I do, but we were not going to do it right now. Faction title, then we have this margin container, then we have this. What's going on here? I think we need, no, I think let's put, then we have a VBox, and then we're going to add a label to this just for a test, and then we're going to turn this label. Actually, we need an H box in here, because we're going to turn this label and it's going to have 3 things inside of it. So that's what this is. So we're going to need 3 labels in here, and we'll just say whatever. I cannot see this because this is turned off. And then we'll duplicate this. Come on, motherfucker. Duplicate 3 times. Then we'll go, we'll select all these. We'll go expand. Well, we want this centered. We want this centered. Oh, that's pretty nice. Lord Mac, how's it going? That's a good point. You know, when my cat disappeared for 3 days, when he came back, I actually was like feeding him treats and stuff, because I literally had that thought, like, why am I so stingy with the treats? Uh, he needs to have like a good life. I'm sure he did though. On your cat did. Um, so I give him more treats now because like they don't live forever. We want these to horizontal, vertical. What am I doing here? We need this first to go uh, expand horizontal. We got some other, this V box. We got to keep going up. Where's the scroll? Okay, scroll box is fine. We're not going to need a scroll box probably. Maybe eventually. Uh, we want you to expand. Then we want you to fill. It looks like you are. Then we want you three suckers to expand. There we go. Nexo, how's it going? 17 to 20 years. That is a long cat life. We should probably put a title. These should be the titles actually. We're gonna say dead person name, and then we're gonna copy this, and we're gonna click on this so that it actually works. We're gonna go dead person death location, and we're gonna go. Is there 2 spaces in there? It kind of seems like there's 2 spaces in there. There is. I'm making a strategy game. Kind of inspired by Dominions and Paradox Games. Dead person cause of death. And that's enough for now, except we need to do the translation. We probably already have name in here somewhere. Okay, we have every... Oh, good God. It would probably be word name. Tire contents of cell. That's not going to do us any good. Oh, dude, it's too complex for me, too. Honestly. We do have word name. It's way too complex for me. We were just like commenting on all of these controls. There's so many, dude. This is for the UI, because the UI for strategy games is like the main part of the game is the UI, This is all UI stuff. There's just so much of it, and I think I'm gonna have to make another one too. Your cat's also in that age range? That's crazy to have cats live that long. I grew up in the boonies, and so cats were getting eaten by coyotes all the time. So I was kind of, it's crazy though. I was talking to my parents recently, and so I had a dog named Flora that was, alive until I moved out, and then it got old and it died. And my stepdad was like, "Yeah, when Flora died, like the whole like nature changed, and like deer would come in to our yard and whatnot." And I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." And they're, "Yeah," and then a coyote ate our last cat, and I was like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" So I had one cat when I was growing up that lasted through all the coyotes, and got eaten by a coyote, I guess, after I moved out. Didn't even know. Dazer was its name. Word name. So we're going to go in here. We're going to go word name. This, where the fuck am I? This one is going to be death location. I know I don't have this. I don't know why I'm searching for it. Next, what are you working on? If you are working on something. Phrase. Death. Location. Yeah, I think we definitely have to have that. Look, see, so here we're back to the thing. This is a title. So we'll go death, location. Um, yeah, all indoor cat. So I've been an indoor cat guy since then, and this my current cat, Peter, he's not really my cat. So he is an outdoor cat. He's gonna get hit by a car or something. Um, Something's bad is gonna happen to him. And I texted his real owner because he was sick, and I wanted her to take him to the vet, and she did, but she was going to, but she was taking her other cat to the vet, and she sent me this list of dead cats that she had. That like one was eaten by a coyote, one was hit by a car. She's like, "Oh yeah, Peter's brother died, and Peter's sister died," and I was like, "The fuck are you doing over there, lady?" You know what I mean? Um, yeah, people were trying to tell you what to do, how to treat your cat. She shouldn't. No, she should not have cats. They just run around the neighborhood, and she has like tons of them. If you were to look at my uh, photos of all my cats, of all the cats I take pictures of, like 90% of them are her cats that she just has running around the neighborhood, getting hit by cars and eaten. And she has a son that I don't think likes cats. So we got all dead people, death location. So now we have a conundrum here. Should I use the title? Oh, actually, it works. It works with that. Then we're going to need... Oh, I put this in the wrong one. This goes here. Delete that. Then we need cause of death. This is also a title. Cause of death. Cause of death. I'm going to copy. We're going to translate it right here. Weird. Yeah, she definitely should not be having cats. Yeah, my other neighbor said that he saw her son just standing in front of somebody's house looking in their window, and so he went over to ask the son what he was doing, and he said he was looking for his cat, for his mom's cats. Lord Mac, do you have a catio? You get a catio. All right, cause of death. Here we go. All right, we got the 3 titles. So this thing this H box, we're gonna add dead person H box. We're going to turn this into a scene. We're gonna leave this one here, but we're gonna turn this into a scene and we'll instantiate this list. Once again, we'll have to probably make a copy of this and then we'll make another control. But I'm not going to do that right now. We're going to do the same thing we did with this diplomacy, just like throw what we need right now up instead of getting so complicated. Because who knows what will change. Maybe I'll be like, oh, I want this over here. So we don't want to be in goods. We want to be in scenes, UI scenes. And we'll put this in here. And we will call this dead. What am I using the spaces? Sometimes. It looks like the vast majority of the time I'm not. Dead person H box container. Yeah, you know, who was telling me that? Oh, it was the late one of the people who works at the coffee shop. She said her cat is one of those cats that loves plastic. I don't know if you've encountered that. Some cats love plastic, and I guess her cat will often eat the actual, like not just chew on the plastic, but will eat it, and then it gets sick. So then what we're gonna do is back on this fact. Do I have a? I got a nothing. No, I do. I have a something, and it's already called what it is. It's probably blank. Now the close button works. We have visibility change, pauses time. So some of the stuff's set up. So what we can do here is um, generate dead pe dead people list. So what we're gonna need in here though is a faction under the faction. I think I have it under county right now. Oh, is it? Uh, mm, we're gonna get rid of this in county data. The dead people list. It's gonna break something, but come on, go to the top. Um, where's our dead people list? Too far. Dead people list. We'll cut this. We're gonna put this in faction data. Oh my god, because we moved this, we have to fix all that other shit. All the DTOs. It shouldn't be that bad since we already have the other ones. Here's this again. Let's put this here. I know, it's the DTOs. Certain types of, yeah, so that's what the thing is, and I read about it. There's, because I was curious once, and there's like some sort of vegetable thing in some plastics, or meat thing in some plastics, and um, that's what that is, I guess, that the cats are, they can smell it or taste it or something, and that what makes them all want to chew on it. Um, I had where was I can't remember, but I remember I brought like a bag of beer to somewhere, you know, in a plastic bag, and the cat that was there was flipping the fuck out, trying to get like, like was so excited. Um, before we fix these, we got to fix the DTO because we just cut this from here. So let's go to, we got to take this out of, well, there's a couple of things we got to do. We got to move this. This needs to go, I guess we got to add it to the faction DTO first. One day we'll finish combat. Faction DTO. We will copy this from the what is this other one? Oh, that's the running thing. All right, we'll close that for now. County DTO. And it should be all caps. Yeah, Critters started a new game. I forget what it is though. Oh yeah, it's a 3D game with like a sim um cooking game. Here's our dead people list. We're gonna cut this from here and put this in our faction DTO, wherever the fuck that thing is. Faction DTO. I still don't know how Writer or Visual Studio picks where it's putting this stuff. When you open something, it just seems to jam it randomly into things. What do we got? This is gonna be a list. So I'm already thinking that this might not work. So we can have a list of population DTO and all that, but it's kind of redundant. We don't need all that information from the dead people. There's a lot of this stuff is as every time I look at this save file and it's gigantic, it reminds me that we need, and a lot of this stuff is redundant, you know, like like some of these I fixed though. Oh, look, we're doing a truple or whatever it's called over here. But there's like lots of lists of population that we don't need the actual list because there's a list somewhere else that we could access and get that. We could just do like an int of their population ID. Anyways, so we move that over. Now we need to move over the actual county. This part should go from here to faction data. Faction data to DTO. We probably have a list somewhere. That would be no. We'll put this somewhere right here, and this is gonna be faction DTO. And then my music stopped, so we gotta make that music you guys can't hear. Then we gotta go back to from DTO. Does this have a no? Okay, so then from DTO right here, cut this, and we can go into faction faction data. We gotta go from DTO and just jam this somewhere. We put the other one down here, so we'll put this down here. And this is gonna be faction DTO. And this is gonna be faction data. All right, so that should cover all that stuff. Then we can go back to here and find, what is this problem? There's no symbol. Okay, kill people when they need to die. We are actually going to do faction data. We'll add them to that list. I thought I uncommented this yesterday. Is that the only error we have? No, we have another one. Why don't we see the errors here? We're in problems. I guess it was in a different file. What is this one? Death. Oh, this is the new way we're gonna do it. That's why. So we're using this death one. That other one we're gonna get rid of. Oh, we're gonna have to pass in like the cause of death though. So we're gonna need like starvation, whatever. Where was this one under county data? And this is for. So I think what we can do is go population data dot death. And then we can comment this shit out. That's much better. And then we still need to pass in the cause of death though. Or when they die, we need to set, I think when they die, we need to set the cause of death. And then we need to save that somewhere. We haven't tested this yet, by the way. Let's see, it did it again. It always does this. I don't know why I complain about it anymore. So how do we have... What activity happens when somebody is starving? Do we have a starve activity? We don't. Let's look at nope, wrong one. Starvation. Okay, so this hits him and adjusts days starving. This should be its own method and that kills the population. No, it shouldn't. This is fine. Well, I was thinking that I was wondering if we because we have other idle activities and stuff. I was wondering if we had like a starving activity, but we don't. So we could just make an enum called cause of death, and we could just put it in there like bullet starvation. Let's do that. It looks like if we're doing this alphabetically, this would be the place where we would do it. Cause of death. And we'll do this alphabetically as well. So it will be, the first one will be bullet. Starvation. How else can people die so far in the game? I think that's it. Is that it? I guess that's it. Let's let's go back to then our population data, and we gotta save that cause of death somewhere. We need to put a thing in here. They can't age. If we pull up the show 1,000 Ways to Die, what is there a show called 1,000 Ways to Die? Wondering where we should put this. I mean, after this, it's all, let's put right here. I don't know. I'm going to put an export on it, but I don't know why I'm doing that. Public all enums cause of death. We should probably put in cause of death not dead. And that can be the default. And then we'll set it. Because I think it has to have a default. I don't think it can be null. Can it be null? Can it? And I'm not typing anything. You know, this is things popping up all the time is out of control, dude. Everything is always has so many things that it's like a new feature, a new one. Just like shut the fuck up. In every single program, every browser, everything you, oh my god. Can an enum be null in C#? Let's see what this stupid AI is. I think this AI is one of the dumbest ones. This is a nullable enum, can be assigned null. I haven't really fucked with nullables. Yeah, that's what that just did. It took my typing away. I use it doesn't do it with what is this one called? uBlock Origin. By AdBlock Plus, it's constantly popping up shit saying it's updated, and it takes your ability to type away, and it drives me fucking nuts. Yeah, or like Windows pop-ups when it's actually the OS, and not only does it take the focus, but you're typing in whatever So you can accidentally like agree to stuff. Um, I do not want a nullable, so we'll because I haven't really messed with those. I'm gonna actually read this very bright thing. Yes, if you make it a nullable. I don't want to do that. We'll just put not dead. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I, it's funny because you know that like used to 10 years ago or something, maybe longer. That was like the things popping up all the time was just considered shitty. And it's just shitty and you know there's jokes about it and now it's like, yeah, this is just the way it is. If you look at like a website without an ad blocker on, the whole fucking screen is just like, especially on your phone. Have you guys looked at a website with on your phone? It's just all ads. You get like one sentence, then an ad, then one sentence, then an ad. It's fucking so insane. We're working towards this. I mean, we do have death in there, but yeah, okay. So not dead will be the first thing. So when um in population generation, actually, I think it will just go to this one. What is the default? It's let's ask this dumb shit. Uh, in C sharp default. What is that? C sharp default enum. Is it? It's the first one. Yeah. Okay. Hey, that guy's what a dick. You see this guy? Oh no. Okay. I thought he was gonna say read the documentation. All right. So 0 is what we want. The entire play bar is yellow. No, I don't think I've had that happen yet. So it's going to default to this. And then we have bullet and we have starvation. So we got to go back to starvation, wherever that was. And then here, people who need to die, do we have, yeah, population data. I typed in people. I said population. Cause of death. Did I not put this in here? No, I did not finish. Whoops, we got 2 of them. We need to add that to all of the other crap. Starvation. All right, let's add this to all the other crap. We have it open. Population data. Let's close the. No, we're gonna need that in a second. Yellow is an ad, and some people put an ad like every 30 seconds, and Fane Andrews saying YouTube doesn't play all of them. Yeah, I have. That's uBlock Origin blocks YouTube ads, and I don't have it on my phone. And I like go to watch a YouTube video or something, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? We gotta go to our population DTO. Population DTO. My God, dude. I'm back on the shitty music that you guys can't hear. Where did I put that? Right here. Public int. No, it's a string. Public string cause of death. And then we're going to go over back to our population data. And this should be down here. And we got to convert it. We probably have another one that I can just copy and edit. Not death. Where I've gone too far here. No, I didn't go far enough. Death, convert 2 DTOs. So we have the inventory. there's a there's a reason this is up here, and I can't remember why. So all we have to do, it looks like, is go cause of death equals cause of death to string. That's pretty easy. And then we go back over here and we go, what was that one? That we just, personality. So personality, that's a different thing. It looks like we got to do a, this is really the best way to do this? Okay. We will call this cause of death, and then we'll go over here. We'll go population cause of death out cause of death. We're putting this into a DTO. No, we're taking it from the DTO and we're saying parsed cause of death. Discord doesn't? You mean when you watch it in Discord? I have other issues when I watch stuff in Discord. I almost always click through, and then it looks like we're putting this cause of death equals parsed cause of death. I'm gonna think that ChatGPT wrote this because it looks like this. Maybe I'll get rid of this. All right, so that should cover all of those things. We've added cause of death to starvation. I think this is in the battle control where we actually murder the person. The hourly possible death. Someone has died. If this is dead, getting shot at population, cause of death equals bullet. Okay, so that should for now add death. Oh my god, this song sucks too. Let me find a new thing here. All right. So maybe we should put this down here. I don't know. We'll rearrange that. I get today all of them suck. So are you gonna get another cat? My friend's dog just died. They had to put same thing as you actually, but it was a dog. Old dog suddenly was acting crazy. They took it to the vet, and the vet was like, "Yeah, not acting crazy, acting sick." And they immediately got a new dog. And they brought it into the office because they're my coworker. They brought it into the office. I wasn't there when this happened, but when I did go into the office, everybody was showing me all these pictures there because the dog's that cute. I guess they were like, "Look at this dog." I was like, "Man, everybody's really into this dog." Okay, so we did that. We can go back to what we were doing here, so when this thing becomes visible, we want to, wherever the fuck that is, let's just close a bunch of crap. We definitely are going to use that. I don't think we need this. Probably need that. We probably don't need that. We might. We don't need that. We might. County loader, nah. Where's our faction control? That's pretty bright on the eyes there. So on this, we will generate dead people list, and we're going to cut this. And we're going to need a scene, a packed scene. I don't know why I'm well, this one has to be export because I'm gonna drag and drop that shit in there. Private, packed scene, dead person. What did I call it? Dead people H box or something? Um, those are your scripts. DTOs. Yeah, we might get it. We might just convert everything to a public class. I don't know. It sucks because in my other game, saving the resources works perfectly. Uh, but in this, it just doesn't. It's too complicated for it too. Dead person H box container. Okay, it's not gonna. It won't let me click in there. Dead person H box container. When do I start making editor commands? Never. I think I used one of what was that? What's that guy's name? Wind of Flatus. Um, I think I did some editor stuff for the map editor part. I fuck with that for a little bit. There was like a button he had on his where you can push in the editor to like regenerate your map, and I decided to do it a different way. So we have this HBox container. Then we're going to uh, for each. Got to type in for each right though. Uh, population data. Yeah, so this we're gonna probably want to convert this list now that I did all that work. No, well, that's cause of death. We're probably gonna want this just to be a list of ints, and because it's just extra, it's just a copy of the list. Should I just do it that way now? Control Shift P. You can add your own commands into the what? Control Shift P? Oh, in here. Are you tricking me? What is this? Oh, your own hotkeys. Huh. Is this new? Or is I just never knew about it? Search help. Um, I probably will not do that, but maybe I don't know. All right, I'm gonna go take a quick break, and I know I'm like 2 minutes early, but I'm gonna think about this. No, I'm probably not. I'm probably just gonna go smoke. Let me pause my crappy music and let me throw up my break timer. And all right, I'll be right back. Um, I was just thinking about something outside. This list of all the people in the game is going to get out of control. It's going to get huge. If it includes all the dead people, I guess we'll worry about it later. That's the that's my new thing. We'll just worry about it later. Um, let's turn this into an int though. Let's not worry about that later. So what that will be is, yeah, I'm assuming that since we're accessing it by the index, it doesn't take that long. You know, it's not like we're for eaching through that list. I don't think. I hope we're not. Okay, so this is an faction control. Yeah. Let's go back to our faction data here, and let's make this dead people list an int. And so what we'll do is we'll go through everything we just changed. Not everything, just a small part here. Dead people list. This will just be, I mean, we could even make it a C# list. In that case, there's no reason to have this. Will just be a list of ints, and this will be their population. This will be their population, their population ID, whatever it's called. I can't remember what it's called, but we're gonna go to here right now. Population ID is what it's called, so it will be that. So with faction data, we got to go down to this first thing, and we can just delete this, and we can just go up to here, and we can go dead people list equals dead people list, or not. Why can't we do this? What's your problem? You won't tell me. Oh, we don't need the comma? No. We don't need the comma, but... Oh, because this is still list of population. We're going to go int. There we go. I don't know why that has a green thing. We'll ignore it. And then we got to go from DTO as well. But that's going to be easy. We're just going to go... I guess it should be up here. What? We're the wrong thing. I guess it should be right here. We're going to delete our dead person list wherever I stuck it. Are we still in to DTO? From DTO. We're going to go, it does go right here. Population data. No, it isn't here. We're in that, see, that's so confusing. We are in faction data. We're from dead people list equals faction DTO dead people list. And then we can go down to wherever we put that other... Is it not giving us an error? This one. We can just delete this. And possible misspelling. Just fix it, dude. And then this thing has a problem because that's there. We're gonna ignore that. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of optimization later. Okay, so then we're gonna go for each int, and then we're gonna call it population ID in dead people in, this is for the player, so we can go globals. No, it's not under globals anymore. It's under auto load. No, auto load. We need to add, fuck me, come on. Instance. Then, it's actually under the save game. We'll get the save manager. We'll get there eventually here. Oh, we don't have it by where do we put the player faction? I thought it was in the save data, but I guess not. Maybe we're assigning it in globals. Player faction data. It is in auto load. Okay, so when we must load it in at some point. So let's go back to this auto load shit. Auto load dot instance dot player faction data dot dead people list. Then we're going to, that was a lot to do that. Then we're going to get a populate. Why do I keep typing people? There's going to dead person, dead population data. We're going to equal, we have this return population. I've been mixing and matching. Sometimes it says return and sometimes it says get. I think I'm going to go with get. Try to keep this consistent. Get. Then we're going to put in this thing. And then we're going to... Why don't you like this? Get population data from population ID. Population. This is an array. Population list. What does this do? It's static. We're passing in a list. Oh, I know how we're doing this. Okay, so, we got rid of the complete list of, we got rid of the complete list of people because it was causing issues because we had this complete list of people, then we had a list of people that was in each county. And so the connecting them was even though they were supposed to be references, sometimes it wasn't. And I can't remember why that was happening, but so we got rid of the complete list of people. So they're by population. So this is why we had to have like the heroes have a it's a dictionary of their location and their ID. And so we would have to pass in the location of the dead person. So that means we got to go back and make this a dictionary of where they're dead. So that is gonna, yeah, that will still work though. So we got to go back to our faction data here, and we'll make a copy of the, what a pain in my ass. So the dead people list, we won't be able to do it this way. We'll have to do it like this. Because it's a dictionary of the hero ID and their county ID of where they're dead. We're just going to hope that works out right. So, yeah, this is a little more complicated. Just for some dead people, though, I don't even know why we have it, honestly. This is going to be a dictionary. What did we do with the all heroes list? It's just a straight up dictionary, so it's not a Godot dictionary. We're going to do int. We're going to put a little note in here. Population ID, comma, county ID. And then we're going to go, this is going to be called a dead, did I call this a list? No, I did not. I was about to make fun of myself or something. Dictionary. And now this won't work. We got to go to copy this. Where does this dead, it's under diplomacy matrix? Okay. Where's our diplomacy matrix? Right here. We're going to put this here. And we're going to go dead people. Dictionary. We're going to call this population. Oh my God, this song is awful. It's the Presidents of the United States. You guys remember? That's the name of the band. You guys remember when they were huge? It was awful. It was an awful time period. Dead People Dictionary. And then we're going to change this to, uh, this should be a capital. We gotta fix this. Um, Population ID. And then we're gonna go into here. We're gonna do a dictionary. Man, when I first started programming, I used the fuck out of dictionaries, and I stopped, and now I'm back to using the fuck out of dictionaries. It's kind of interesting that like almost everything. Was it a 9/11 rah thing? I don't think so. It was just they were like college rock, and they just very, someone one time told me a term, genera rock, where it's just like generic music, generic boring music, and that's kind of what they do. Like nothing remarkable, but for a while they were like huge and crappy. Um, okay, so we got to go back now. We'll get this. We're gonna add this into there, but then we need from DTO. This is to DTO. Yeah. Then we need from DTO. We're now in from DTO. It's back to this thing working, by the way. This stopped working for a while. We need a copy of our hero thing, wherever it is. All hero. Oh, we made it. We make a new thing. This is why I made copies of this crap. Then we're going to put this all the way at the bottom. Yeah, exactly. And there's like a ton of bands that were, successes. They were successes for like 15 minutes. And then they went away. But yeah, and I worked at a college radio station in like 1992 and 3, and it was there was some definite boring ass music that we used to play. Dead population. No, do I not have this in my DTO? Did I typo it? Faction DTO. Oh, it's a capital D. Of course it is. Dead people. Good God. And then this is going to go to Dead People Dictionary. And then we return faction data there. So we create a new one, I guess, and just put that in there. I guess if it works. Yeah, that college radio station actually was pretty fun to work at. I don't know if it's the same thing anymore. All right, so for each key value pair is what we need in here. Key value pair, int, comma, int. And then what is your fucking problem here? Oh, we need the name of it. We're going to call it a key value pair. Right? Exactly. Like, and it's funny is somebody was telling me like recently, they were like, oh yeah, I was listening to the radio on the way to work. And when I say recently, it was like the last five years. And I was like, people listen to the radio on the way to work? So we need the list. So what we're going to do, I think we already have a method. We might not. Well, so we need the county data first because we need to know the county the location of where this person is. So that's the second int is where the person is. So this, I think we have under county data. I don't see it there though. I think it's under county data. It's like get. No, where would this be? Um, we did this yesterday. We went through this exact same thing where I had to search for this. Uh, get county data. Yeah, it's on globals for some reason. Why do I keep thinking this should be in not here? It shouldn't be here. This is under globals. And then, is this thing not static? No, it is. 19th century. Yeah, it did, you know? It definitely lasted a lot longer. You would think that like the commercial thing would go bad. You know, they had like it's funny because now this happens to streamers too. They like the exact same thing. So basically, there's a big scandal, and I don't remember the year this was, but you could probably easily look it up. This was an ongoing scandal from like I gotta skip another song. Sorry. Speaking of this, um, so basically, what you could do is you would bribe DJs to play your music. And when I say bribe, I mean literally bribe them. You would just go up, you'd bribe hookers and stuff, and have the DJs play your music. And so that is like, so it was a big deal, and then it became illegal, and they kind of got around it by like taking the DJs out to dinner and stuff. Um, Pretty obvious stuff, but it's the same thing that's happening like with streamers now, where they bribe them to play their shitty game and say it's good. Um, so we got this. I'm not sure why you're complaining. What are you returning? You're returning a right? No, it's lobbying is the same exact thing too. So it's like all the same this all the same thing. It's just bribery and do I need to cast this? I bet you I need to cast this even though it's pretty obvious. No? No casting. What is your fucking problem here? Cannot access non-static method in a static O. So you aren't static. Oh, and look at this. We're pulling it from the county parents. What a strange way to do this. All right, we'll get the instance of this, but let's put a note. Let's to do this. There's no reason to have this as a. I guess we are. We are using this right here. This whole thing sucks. To do. Fix this so it doesn't suck anymore. Probably should use the data in the save game. Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but like a couple weeks ago, like all the streamers got hit with uh they banned all the bots on Twitch, and then suddenly all these like very popular streamers suddenly had a tenth of the views, and people were very upset. We need to get this list, so we need to go from. Oh, this isn't gonna work because he's a visiting hero. So they were visiting. So what we'll have to do when they die. So if they're a visiting person, they're going to be in a different list. That actually makes other things kind of hard to find. how are we going to do this then? So we can do... So right now, so what's the problem is we can get the list of the people in the county, but the people in the county um, are only the people who live there. The visiting, attacking people are in a visiting list. We can have a hidden list of all of the people, or we can, when the person dies, they get added into the county that they're in's list. I think that's what we got to do. So if we go back to death here, I think it was just literally called death. Here it is. So we remove hero from all heroes list. We're removing them from the population data list. So this is the one. We need to actually add them. Which actually changes this dead thing. Man, this dead thing is a pain in my ass. I don't even know why we're saving a list of dead people. Okay, so what we can do, if that's the case... If that's the case... What happens if you add someone to a list when they're not, or when they're already in a list? What is this type of list? This is the one. This is the most important one, is this population data list. So there's two most important ones actually: heroes and county and population data list. This we can easily fix, but... So we go down the list of the faction data has a list of all the dead people. We want to be able to see all the dead people just so you can see what's killing all your people. And this is, once again, we'll put like a button and we'll change around where it is. But we're going to want this information. This morning before I streamed, I was fighting a war as China against Russia in Victoria 3. And I kept looking around for... Like, how many people does Russia have left? Because I have an endless supply of people. And I mean, Russia probably had a lot. But I wanted to see if we could win via... Because I was pretty sure I was going to lose the war. And I was like, can we just win via attrition, put everyone on defense, and just grind Russia down to no people? So I was trying to find it. And I finally found it. But there's probably a point where, like, something like that, where you're like... You're going to want to see the list of dead people. I would think, maybe just for fun, so let's stop pontificating here. So we would leave them in here, but we would, since we already set their cause of death, what we would have to do is on our population list, this is way more of a pain than I thought. I was like 10 minutes, we'll be done with this shit. Okay, so what we're going to do... We got to do a couple of... I'm going to have to put notes in here because I'm going to forget. Okay, so first off, make dead people not show up in the population list. If they're only show people with the cause of death equals not dead. All right, that's one thing we got to do. Next, we got to, in county, where it goes through everyone, only include people with the cause of death equals not dead. No dead? Not dead. But it was Victoria 3 is one of those weird things with my war with Russia is I was losing. I was winning, then I was losing pretty severely. And then I noticed one of my armies had decided just to return to its headquarters and sit there with a thumb up its ass. And so I put them back. Then I started winning again, and it was like went from like 5% winning to negative 20%, or they have the numbers. I don't know if it's a percentage, but it goes up to 100, negative 20. Then when I reassigned that army, it went to like plus 30, and so then I was just crushing Russia, and I was kind of scratching my head like, why did Russia declare war on me? I was trying to be peaceful, trying to be friendly. Now they had to give up their shitty provinces. Actually, the cost of their shitty provinces was pretty expensive too in the infamy thing. All right, we need to find out what happens when you add somebody to a list. We'll just ask ChatGPT. The AI, the Google AI is trash. Um, in C Sharp, when you add an index to a list that is a duplicate, what happens? It's going to be like nothing. Okay, that means, so how do I do it? Okay, so I want to check. I want to check if the thing is already in the list, and if it isn't, then add it. Okay, so it's just this, huh? That's it? All right, that's good. Sometimes that's why I ask. It's because I would for loop it or some shit, and it would be a big pain in the ass. So what we will do is we're not going to remove this anymore. Somewhere outside your border where they can't move. Oh yeah, I had that when I played the. I played. It was someone recently where they were stuck. Who the fuck was it? Ottoman Empire? I can't remember. Um, yeah, they're just sitting. They're stuck and they can't figure a way home. And it says like they a lot of times that they're like out of supply. I had that happen in some. I think what fixed it? Maybe it was another war. Yeah, no, I know exactly. And you know what? No, it was in when I was playing Hudson Bay Company. That area up there in Canada and Northern America, that area is a fucking nightmare for wars. It keeps adding like this is a while ago. They may have fixed it, but I was playing as Mexico or somebody, and I got in a war up there, and they would add new front lines, and my guys wouldn't automatically go to it, so I would be getting like flanked. So I was having to pause it all the time and like check, and then it would send like my guys the longest route ever to get there and be like, they'll get there in 9 months. And I'm like, what? They're standing next to the front line. Yeah, it was so we're gonna do this. It made me not want to play that area. And then when I played Hudson Bay Company recently, and I was like, oh shit, is this gonna happen again? And I think that's the one where the people got exiled and they were just stuck. And it was like I was helping. I think it was. I was helping fight. No, it wasn't them, because then all of a sudden I was in a war with Russia. Um, the rip-off DoD mod. DoD mod, what's that? Then we're gonna add this to here, and then this. We're gonna look it up. Victoria 3 DoD mod. Divergencies? I played that, I may have already told you this, the fantasy one, a fantasy mod for a little bit. What is this thing? Legacy of Divergency, an alter Wiki mod created by somebody. According to the quantum theory, okay. Okay, so it's like, I think I read about this. Maybe you told me about it. I remember looking at this a little bit. Is it any good? Brazil's pretty fun to play. Actually, so it's the same thing keeps happening every time. Like 1870, I start losing interest in the country I'm playing. Like almost every time, I'm forcing myself to finish this China run, even though um, even though I have we don't want this in here anymore. Even though I have just fought a war that just bled my coffers dry. A war I didn't want. I was trying to be really friendly with those guys, with everybody, and just build up my economy. And I'm like, I think I'm like right around 1870, and I was just like, I don't want to play this anymore. But I'm forcing myself through. Okay, so we got this. We got the value for the county. Now we need to pass in the list. So this guy should be on the list now. Um, should be. Now what's your problem? Oh, it's a key value pair now. Key value pair dot key. And then we have the dead population. So that was a lot of work. And we're gonna have so many problems. Set up once again problems for my future self. So now we have this, and then we're going to instantiate a what did we call this thing? Dead person HBox. This is a HBox container. Jesus Christ, this music today. All right, so we need a dead. That was actually fine. No, this is not. We got a cast that I haven't done an instantiation in a long time. We're gonna go dead people instantiate, and it will ask. I think we gotta tell it it's an HBox container, even though I just did that right here. Maybe I don't. All right, no, I don't. More recognized powers. You know, there's so many issues with Victoria 3. It's crazy what they pick to fix. I'm quite shocked that they haven't worked on navies and war just in general. So like that was another thing that I when I was playing earlier in my China thing, Egypt asked me for help against the Ottoman Empire, and I was like, I was being extremely peaceful after this point. I was like, I could just carve off a little chunk of the Ottoman Empire for myself during this. So that's what I did. But the Ottoman Empire sent a bunch of navy to do a naval landing on China while they were losing the war over there. And it's you can't like pick a front for that. You just got to park your guys there. And I happen to have left some guys there just by coincidence. And then it's in my navy was useless because I only had like 20 ships, some 20 old rotting ships. And then I put them over there. And anyways, long story short, it kept saying that I was getting a naval invasion, but I was absolutely slaughtering them in all cases. And the whole thing was just bonkers. And I was like, is this serious? Am I going to have like a land war in China here with my way huger numbers and what even though we're winning, we were like steamrolling Ottoman Empire at that point. Uh and the whole it was the whole thing was very strange. We need a parent for this. We need a parent. We can't have any orphans here. This is going to be a private What is this thing? A VBox container. This is gonna be dead people parent. We're gonna also need to delete when we put this. Yeah, the whole thing is so weird how that works. Oh, that was the other thing that I was wondering. So I've noticed too, this is another very bizarre thing that I noticed a lot of times. So I don't like conscripts. I feel like I want to be ready to rock and roll without conscripts. It's probably a bad move. It's probably like a bad strategy, right? It's probably not how you're supposed to do it. This is going to be a dead people HBox container, dead people parent. So I go in and delete all the conscripts, sinners or whatever. But I noticed that a lot of times when I do that, so once I take over a place, it gives me the conscript, whatever they're called. So I go in and delete them. And I notice that when I do that, a lot of times people declare war on me. And I wonder if it's because they see my there's the number goes down for my overall strength. Who did I do that with? I think it was the Ottoman Empire as well. I deleted just some normal troops and immediately someone declared war on me. And so I wonder if they see that there's that number is going down. So there's an overall like strength number in Victoria 3 where you can like hover over and get the strength of the nation, and it adds up, all the points of their armies and stuff. And I wonder if the AI sees that number go down, they go, "Oh, he's a victim. Attack him." Do they start to get good later? I just have, what do I got? 350. I just have, for China, I just have 450 normal dudes just walking around. They're like all infantry, though. Almost all infantry. It's bad. I just use them as a deterrent. Okay, so then we're gonna instantiate this. We got to add a child to the dead people parent HBox. Add child. We gotta populate this shit though. So we also need. We could get child. That's pretty small for China. Yeah, I got money problems all of a sudden. I didn't have money problems at all for this whole time, and then the war happened. And I may have gone a little out of control with my construction. Even though I only have like 300 construction, and it's 1870, and I think that's considered very bad for China. People say they have like 4,000 by mid game. I can't get out of traditionalism. I cannot get out of it. I've tried to get people. I've tried to agitators. I've tried to get all that shit. Agitators, boosting the people who don't want tribal or traditionalism. I just got trade. Cannot get out of that traditionalism crap. Actually, while that war was going on, I got the cargo trading. I wonder if that will increase. Yeah, I think I'm probably doing something wrong because I looked it up about something else, but I think I was looking at a comparison. I was looking up something and they said everyone was like, you gotta get traditionalism out of there immediately as China. And I was like, dude, no one, it's like 1% pass and, 50% not pass, stall. All right, so we add this. We got to populate this stuff, but we need to add in here. Doing a lot of work for nothing here. We need to add on here a new dead people scroll container is what we need to call this. And what we'll do, we can use this later though. We can just move this wherever we need it to be. So we're gonna add a script to this. And we'll just attach these things. And we want this to go over here. Oh, that's what so I don't like to do that cheese stuff. Someone said what they do is at the beginning, they go to war with the UK, and then uh, capitulate, and forces them to get trade across their whole country instead of that one port. Which I'm glad they added that one port thing, and it also gave them something else. And I was like, huh. I don't like doing that though. I like doing the like pretend to like I care about my country. You know what I mean? Like I don't want any revolutions. I guess having a bazillion opium addicts isn't that good of caring, but that's what we got. We make a lot of money off of. I have the pure opium, the pure opium prestige good because that's what we do. We pump out opium. Okay, export. These are all gonna be labels. Dead person name, dead person location, dead person cause of death. That's all we need in here. And then we're going to build this. I don't think we can actually. We could build it. So then on here, oh, I put this in the wrong spot. This doesn't need to be here. This needs to be on this H box. That's what I get for talking. We're going to attach this thing. We'll rename it first because it's going to be a problem. Dead person H box container. What did I call that actual script here? It was dead something. Scroll container. H box container. Nope. Nope. H box container. What I wanted to do actually was to make sure that this was spelled the same, was to do that. Because if it's wrong, then you're fucked. Then you are fucked. So open this again. This is an HBox container. And then we'll go build again. We'll put these things in here. We gotta attach the script to this, probably. It's probably nice. We can just drag this over. We gotta go back over here. We gotta remove this script. Save that. Go back. Whoop. Clicking the wrong thing again. Go back over here. Save this again just because. We'll put this over here. I didn't put label at the end of these like I normally do. What's wrong with me? Click over here. We don't need this open anymore. I'm just going to leave label off the end. Then we're going to go dead people HBox container, not the parent one. HBox container dot. No, we need this. Do I still have it on my clipboard? Dead people, it's the same, huh? Okay, well done. This is not an HBox container. This is a dead people HBox. And then we go name. Did I make those not private? What, I didn't just put label in there. Dead, I must not have made them. Go back over to here. I made them fucking private. What an asshole. Show context to public. To public. Save it again. Now we're rolling. Okay, now we're not rolling because this is a capital D. Now we're rolling. All right, we did it. Only took. See, this should. Oh my God, we're not rolling. We're not rolling. This has to say label at the end, which means we're gonna redrag that shit over. Can we get a build out of you? We did not get a build out of you. Come here. We're coming back. We're coming back to that. Here we go. Dead people. Here we go. Then we can do this. I was like, I don't need to be that anal all the time about all the fucking label shit. But I did. I do. Because then everything looks, it doesn't make any sense later. Now we can close that. Now we're rolling equals populate dead population data dot get full name dead people container. I think that's what we did next. Is that what we did next? Jesus Christ. Death location. And that's going to equal dead people location. But guess what? We're going to put this in here, actually. County name. Can I just do toString? Can I just do that? Come on. We got this in here wrong, though. Okay, it already is a string. Jesus Christ, we are not rolling. I mean, things are getting done, but it's... we need the toString enum thing. Dead population data, cause of death. Can we do toString to that? Yeah, we can. All right. Oh, we're not really done, though. I was going to say we're done. We're going to do a private void clear dead people list. Then we're going to go down here. And we're going to go for each HBox container. HBox container in, what's that parent? What did we call that parent? HBox parent. It's right here. Get child. Get children skip one. We're going to skip the top one because the top one has the titles in there. What's your fucking problem? You want some dumb... No, we don't want that. Then we're going to go HBox container Q the fuck free. There we go. That will blow those all away. Now we can go back to here. Except there's something I'm forgetting. We don't need this open. We need to drag in something somewhere. Right here. The parent needs to go into, this needs to go into here. And then the parent is this one. That's a V box. This is a V box. And then we're going to build it. Yeah, one of my friends sent me a link to a game. Let me look it up real quick. Here it is. And I had this on my wish list for a long time. And I took it off, I think. Someone should tell me if this game's any good. Well, right when I maximized that, it went to the big picture of it there. This is some like Asian strategy game. It's mostly positive. I remember reading about it a long time ago, and people were like, before it came out, and people were really like into this series, and they were excited about this coming out, but I guess it didn't live up to expectations or something. I don't know. But someone tell me if it's any good. Somebody's ambitions. All right, so let's go back. We're still here. Let's build one more time. Go back to here. We need the dead people V-box container. There's something wrong here. I know I forgot something. We need to do this. Okay, so what's the first thing that's going to happen is we don't have any dead people. So let's just click on this and see if we can get any errors. We need to re-import our thing over here, like always. So that was not what I was thinking we forgot. And then let's see if we can get some people killed. The problem is we need our people to die. Maybe if we have... Maybe if we have no subordinates, it's better. Because they only can shoot at one person. So let's declare war. Then let's sit here. Because I think these guys are supposed to start recruiting guys. We have the time too slow. It's like, why is everything taking so long? Tillamook, Justin recruited somebody. It shouldn't be. Somebody, is this not showing? It is. Okay, so we got a problem there. It's showing the enemy recruiting people. We're just gonna throw in a note here. The activity log is showing AI faction recruiting. It should. We just gotta put a thing in that checks. All right, so they got a bunch of people there, though. We can go in. Man, whenever I work on this and I run into something like that, which is pretty insignificant, like it'd be an easy fix, I think though about like the huge software companies. So we need to lose this battle. And I don't know if we can. Somebody needs to die on our side. And we won't ever lose from morale, but oh, Justin needs to die. No, his name's Jack Bailey. Well, we have another problem here. We own this, but we're not getting. This should be showing. Yeah, we have other. Are we getting bugs? We're not getting bugs. Yeah, we have another problem though. And I think I vaguely remember that this capturing was not working correctly. It also says this guy's name's Jack Bailey. He's not there. I bet you he's in here. And then Justin Wright is probably one of these guys, or did he croak? Jack Bailey's down there. Who the fuck is this person? Yeah, we got all sorts of problems over here. We're gonna run some. I bet you it's because, oh, he ran back to there. We didn't capture this when we went there. Even, what? Yeah, we got some problems. Um, so it's gonna be nearly impossible to test this because we don't have any dead people. Um, for some reason, this guy's fucking invincible. And he also, it doesn't know that we've captured this. Like, it kind of does, but it also doesn't. No, it doesn't know. It's setting it to the right. Oh, we finally captured that and we destroyed them. Now we own everything, but nobody died. We need people to die that are on our side. It's probably because before when the person died, we were taking them out of the lists and add them to different lists. But I don't think, honestly, we don't even need that dead people list at all. We did all this for nothing. The dictionary, we could have just went through all of their counties and pulled out the dead people. But there's definitely something wrong with capturing a county. There is definitely something wrong with capturing a county. All right, I'm gonna take a quick break. That demoralizing hit there. Anyways, what I was saying though before I go on break, I think about like the big. So this actually the capturing county is a better example. So there's probably like a big company working on. There's probably like somebody who works on like different chunks of the game, like so there's one group that's working on population or whatever. And then there's another group working on combat. Then there's another group that works on county capturing or whatever. And so they got to put in like a note for the county capturing people because they ran into this while they were testing their thing. They found out that the county capturing is not working, and so then they send it over to the county capture people. And the county capture people are supposed to go and look at their code or whatever. But if they're anything like that, my coworkers, those guys are just wandering the office somewhere. And it's the thing that I was thinking about is like, wonder how that works in like. So every place I've always worked, there's always been a couple of people who don't do shit when they should be. And I wonder how that works and like is that why some games take so long to be updated? Or also, like think about you would have to put in like a ticket probably. Like to the county capture team and to describe it as best you can, and then you send it over to those guys. They don't know what the fuck you're talking about because on their side it works fine. And so then they got to update the ticket. Maybe they got to come over and talk to you. And then maybe they got 500 tickets before yours, but you can't continue with what your thing is until you can't test it. Like we can't test this right now until the county capturing thing works, even though that's not what's holding us up. But let's say that's what it is. And so then like you got to go bounce. And so then, okay, well, we can't do that until that gets fixed, but then let's move on to something else. And then like, they must have some crazy organization or crazy disorder the whole time major companies are working on stuff. In Paradox, especially because they do that crazy shit where they lock off features with the DLC. So like a game comes out and that's locked off, but these other guys need to continue working on their thing, so they got to make it work, but with it, yeah, the whole thing. I don't know. It must be quite an experience. All right, I'm going to take a quick break. Let me pause my music you guys can't hear, and put up my break timer, and I will be right back. All right, let's see here. I think I actually put that in before, but I was just kicking it down the road because it wasn't important. But now, I know this is all still in. Let's put this towards the. Oh my God, there's so many now. Uh, let's go through and fix the thing, the chaos we've caused with this. Man, I should have just said fuck the dead people list. Yeah, I should have just said fuck the dead people list. It's too much work for what we get out of it. We don't get that much out of it. You know what we could do is, or we still got the. Now let's run a fresh one. Maybe we can get some people to starve to death. I know that sounds bad, but you know what we can do to make the starvation more likely is have these guys all get recruited. And I think it's red over here if people starve to death. Something flashed over here. But then we can go over here and see if there's any. Nope. Yeah, I think we have. Is this not reporting correctly? We're barely scraping by. This list isn't going to go down when people die, though. We hired people into service, it looks like. So that would have taken some. Wow, it updates the top bar a lot. I don't think this is right. The top bar doesn't seem right to me. Oh, it looks like we do only have 4. We'll have to run this for a long time for that to get to 0. No one's gonna starve. Dead. It's really starve. People are starving. It just takes a while for it to kill them. Starvation in my game is not like an instant death thing. With the death may not be working right though. This could not be working right as well. I saw some starvation fly by. So they gotta starve for like, it lowers their hit points. And if they get a tiny bit of food, it's kind of interesting that this is not updating though. I wonder if we have, there's a way we can do this. We can do this actually. I think it's in globals. We have that starting. No, I bet you it's an auto load. Oh wait, we were gonna do something to population generation. I forgot what it was. Oh no, it defaults to that the enum. Right here. If we put 0 here, and then there won't be any scavengeable food to start with. So they'll, oh, we just got a bunch of errors. I don't know if that's because I changed something. So now every county should have 0 here. So it doesn't matter, they can't scavenge any food, so they should all croak pretty quickly. This isn't going to go down though right now. It's day 24. There should be some dead people. I don't see any dead people. Let's look. Starve. No one's starving? We're on day 24. How are you guys getting fucking food? Oh, it also says 4 and 2. Are you guys scavenging food when there's no food to be scavenged? People are equipping canned food. Oh, maybe that's what the one is. Scavenge. No, they're just scavenging remnants, which is what they should do. Why aren't they starving? You know, there is that healing. There's healing at some point. I wonder if they heal faster than they can starve. But when I put in starve, we got all sorts of problems. I wonder if it's looking at some lists. See, these people are all idle. We could change how it works too, where when they scavenge, it says what they're scavenging that day instead of at the end of the day. This is strange to me, but I think it's because these guys are equipping. No? He has canned food. We don't have, well, this is the best we have, I think. Or the oldest we have as well. It's the only thing we have. I bet you that's what's throwing that off. But it shouldn't be 4. Because they're learning how to scavenge a lot. We're getting no starvation. Are these people not eating food? Now we got another problem to look at. Yeah, they should be long dead at this point. Okay, so something's going on with our death starvation stuff. So let's put in a list for that. Capturing a county, add starvation isn't working right. All right, that's what we'll do first, because we need to check the dead people thing. So let's do this starvation thing. We have so many bugs to fix. Everything just fell apart. You know what we can do is save it. Are we getting any bugs? We're not getting any bugs. Then let's look at our save game and let's look up cause of death. It would have been starvation, right? Let's double check that's the enum. Starvation, copy. Go to here. Just make sure. Yeah, nobody is starved. Wonder what's going wrong there. All right, so that's the first thing we're gonna have to tackle here. Is what is going on with starvation? There's obviously a bug somewhere. This also, they're not using. If we let's fix canned goods because I'm curious about canned goods is set as an equipment just for testing. So let's go to canned goods, canned food. If we, I think, yeah, if we get rid of that, that should do the trick. And so let's just run that real quick to see if that fixes our number at the top. It still shouldn't be 2, though. We start with 800. But there's none to get. None. So they ate it all up. So somehow they're getting 2 every day. Wonder how they're getting 2 every day. That's what this second number is. Is each day this is yesterday's. And they're not eating at all. And they're not starving. Okay, so that's a weird thing too, that they somehow are getting to, or maybe they can't. I guess well, maybe they're not hungry since they're not starving. Let's look at our county thing. I bet you it's one of these things isn't factoring in. Well, I guess that's a pretty obvious. There's something broken. All right. We're gonna just close all of this crap except for those. All right. So let's look at county. So it should be going through our county script every day and doing stuff. So here's our weekly stuff. Here's the end of day. So it's possible that they're healing faster than they're starving. Is there enough food? This is a terrible name for this method. Okay, so we have the population AI. Let me think about this for a second. So how is there 2? There's something where there's the resources. Maybe they can't. Well, it might actually be in here where they don't eat the food if there's not enough. Like, but we got to figure that out too. Because I remember vaguely that there's, yeah, like there's amount of food is greater than or equal to global food gain for happiness. Um, because I didn't want it to go through the whole list all the time. Okay, let's see. So do we have starvation in here? People eat food. All right, let's look through this. I think this is a dumb name for this method. All right, so we pass in a county data. We count faction resource of type food. Let's double check that our resources are, because that could have got messed up. Um, our goods, because they're like enums or something. Where the fuck am I going? This is gonna be kind of a pain. Next weekend, it's just gonna be bug hunting. We've stumbled across 45,000 bugs. It's because we did some major changes, and I knew that at some point we would. Where the fuck am I looking for here? Right here. Um, okay. Faction good. County good type none. That's correct. Can good. It's a county good type. Is a county good. It's faction is food. It's a canned good. Was this cloth? I forgot we added this stuff. It's a building material? Okay. Equipment is equipment. Fish is a food and a county good. Food is a faction and it's food. Fruit is a food and a county good. Glass, it's a raw material. Shouldn't cloth be a raw material? I guess not. It doesn't come out as cloth. Uh, influence should be a faction good. Was this a county good? Yeah. Iron, I forgot we added all this shit. It's a building material. Iron ore is a raw material. This is county good. Money, faction money. Paper, county good paper. It's a raw material. Not really. You have to manufacture paper. Right? Does it return a pool? What does it return? It doesn't return shit. Is it like what? Uh, paper is not a raw material. I don't know what else it would be though. With our current, that's probably why it's in there. Primitive scouting equipment is an equipment, which is right. Raw material should just be, yep, remnants, and then we have another remnants. So this is the county good remnants faction. We had to do this the other day because it was causing absolute chaos. Research is a faction good. This is a non-perishable storage. County good, non-perishable. Vegetables should be a food, and wood should be a raw material. It's a building material. Sure, whatever. We're gonna have to figure that out at some point too. We're gonna have to distinguish between these. Yeah, paper tree. What are those trees where they take the bark off? I forget what they do with the bark. Where they like peel the bark off? Cork trees. Okay. Amount of people. Count everybody in a county. So how does this work? Because we've just changed how this works. Because we need dead. We have dead people in here now. Crystal, how's it going? Count alive people in county. Papyrus. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Egypt and alligators. It's true. It's true. So this is, man, that dead thing really throws a wrench in everything. I'm trying to think what we would even use it for, realistically, because it might not be. It might be worth it just to throw that all out, all the work we did today. Just like fuck it, it's just a pain in my ass, and we don't care that much. Cause so what this is doing, not sure why we're doing it this way, but we're getting everybody, even like visiting heroes. This is not going to include their subordinates though. So this is not really a very good number anymore too. This is what are we doing with this? Because this thing no longer applies. Oh, okay. So we're doing this because the visitors and shit eat food. But they wouldn't eat the food if they're visiting army, because like they're attacking. they're, they're, you're under siege. Make sure to feed the besiegers. It's not gonna work. Okay, this whole thing is trash. I hate it. All right, we're gonna come to a decision first, though. Are we going to keep a list of the dead people? Because man, it is a pain in the ass. You know, it would be less of a pain in the ass. Yeah. Okay, it wouldn't be that much of a pain in the ass if I did it the way I first did it at the beginning of the stream, instead of this where I tried to just keep a copy of the ints, and then the ints points to the population ID. That's where I went wrong. And actually, I think it is the right way, because what I was saying was we would point to the population data via their population ID. But then I was like, well, we don't have that anymore because they're dead. But the reason I didn't want to save their population data somewhere is because it would be duplicate data. But in reality, they're dead, so it's not duplicate. It's removed. So it would have just been, oh my God, that's what I should have done. That would have solved all these problems. We would have found some other problem, but we would have found these other problems. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. All right, let's fix that. How much time do I got? Oh my God. So when we were fucking with all those population data, faction, DTOs, all that stuff, we're gonna have to go back and do all that again. Hey, Crystal, you work in uh, development, not game development, but how do you guys organize between teams? Like, how it must be insane trying to work between teams of the different um, features and stuff. There must be like some very stiff guidelines. I never finished my coffee. One last drink in there. It must be totally crazy. And then are you eyeballing the guys and thinking they're not working hard enough? Um. Okay, I glanced at this and I thought we were on vegetables, and I was like, you cannot eat remnants. But no, we're actually on wood. Okay, so let's go back to that. And that will be what we'll finish today. And then we really need to get towards pushing the main, and I want to push all these bugs to main. So we're not going to do it today, but maybe next weekend we'll push like a partial updated thing, because we do need to push to main pretty regularly, because otherwise it looks like the jack shit's getting done. Okay, so back to this. Okay, back to this. We need to first go into our faction data, and we're gonna put a list. This is gonna be a list of dead people. Yeah. uh, exactly. You don't want to look like I can't remember the name of that game. It was on the tip of my tongue there, but no. List of dead people list is what we will call it. No, we won't. We're gonna call it all dead people list. So now we need to go into the DTO, the faction DTO, and we need to update this to be a list of population data. And I have a feeling all of a sudden that we're gonna run into the whatever made me change this in the first place, and I'll be like, oh shit. But I think it was just because I didn't want the duplicate data. Oh, this should be a capital A. Okay, all dead people list. So then on here, we need to go fix this where we convert these lists over. He started, so it's, oh, he started his stream. Makes sense. You know, I often like get up, I'll be watching a stream and I'll get up and like go in my kitchen or go outside and smoke. And then I feel like every time I do that, the person is talking to me. You know, like they're talking and I get up, they're not saying anything to me. And then I get up and go outside and then I come back and I'm like, man, I know they said something the minute I left. And they think I'm just fucking ignoring them. Okay, so this is a C# list, so it's going to be less painful to switch over. So I cannot remember how to do this though. This is how we do it. So we go, we're going to copy this. Where's our dead people list? It's at the very end. It literally is. And then we're going to go for each population data. Population in dead people list, all dead people list. Then we go population data. This actually isn't that bad. I thought we were gonna, I forgot that we already had this 2DTO here. For a second, I was like, oh my god, dude, we're gonna have to write a 2DTO for population data. But no, we've already done that. This is gonna be all dead people list. What's your fucking problem? This is it. This, I don't like this there, and I hit something. Is not all add we're returning this new one. We're returning a population DTO. This is being added to the all dead people list. This is supposed to be a population DTO. See, this is why I don't use var, is so that everything must always match. So like 2 hours of nothing, the moment I mute to edit a video or something, when they decide, yeah, no, I can imagine, yeah. We can get rid of this. Whoa. Because that's no longer a dictionary. And then we need from DTO, we can't do it this easy way where we had the ants thing. We gotta find another one. All Heroes Dictionary is almost, no, it's not a dictionary. What was the one we just used in it here? This one. We can copy this. We're going to put it very end again. We're going to go population, populate dead people or something. We're selecting these. I don't know what the fuck that means. All dead people list. Population. It was, that thing was throwing me off down there. Then we add in the dead people. Not to the research items, obviously. This is going to be all dead people. And then we delete this. Why don't we have a list at the top? Yeah, like we cleared this war. We have like new ones of these. I wonder why we don't have, did I not copy it? Here's dictionary. I didn't copy it. Okay. So we need to have, we don't have it in diplomacy matrix either. I think we just can clear this, right? What did we do with these other ones? We just clear this shit, man. I hope. Then we add these back. The diplomacy matrix, I bet you needs one, because look at these other ones do as well. I'm almost positive, so we'll just clear it. I don't know, maybe whatever. Deathtail, how's it going? I'm doing good. I am fixing a problem I created earlier. I thought I had a good idea. No. I thought I had an idea, and it turned out that idea was not going to work how I wanted it. And then so I had an idea, and I was like, no, there's a better way to do it. But in reality, the first idea that I had was the better way to do it. So we need to actually, on death here, we need to go back to removing this. And, well, sort of, yeah, so that's, I've just well, I didn't, there was no push, it was all today. It was all today, so it, manually reverting. Okay, so this is going to be, we already got the faction data. And we're going to add this. Okay, get this node out of here. Oh, you know, we didn't see any of these croaking. Is this still up over here? Yeah, well, the problem is people aren't dying when they should be. They're not dying at all. I can't get the people to die. They won't starve to death. I don't know. They're eating rocks or something. Okay, so we have the faction from this population data, then we have their location. So we're going to remove them from all of these and we add them to the factions all dead people list. And then we get their full name, and it should say they croaked. Why weren't they dying though? Well, I don't know if I've figured out. I'm hoping that this is going to solve the problem here. We got one more. What is this? Okay, so this we can fix. This is going to be population data population data in all dead people list. And then this is going to be, we don't need this anymore. Actually, we're going to need it down here, but we don't need to pull their location from, to get them from the list, because now we just have a list of them over there. Get population data from yeah, we don't need, this is the part we don't need. And then we need this container, we need that. We're going to add this to the child, and then we're going to need this. We're going to rename this to dead population data, and then we're going to do this here. What is going on there? There's some sort of thing. Oh, we got a thing here. I was like, what is going on? All right. So I guess we'll test this. I don't think it's gonna work though. I don't think it's gonna work because we have other issues. But let's test it now that we weren't leaving those people on that list for the other thing. Well, we also no longer have to test to make sure that they're not dead. So wherever I put that in, which I've now forgotten, it's really weird that, so this has 0, so this does update right here, but when they eat all their food, I wonder why there's 2. Every day they get 2. We gotta figure that out. They just won't starve. They won't starve. They were kind of starving when I tried to recruit a bunch of people. Let's recruit a bunch of people. And then maybe we can make them starve. There's no food for them to be getting, though. They should be starving in droves right now. But we're getting no starvation. This should be filling up with starving people down here. What was the other thing? Croaked? No one's croaking. Right? All right, stop this. So there we got some other. Well, we got a couple of issues now that I've changed all those things around with that thing we were looking at a second ago. How much time do we have? 20 minutes. This doesn't really work. But it does. It does. Now that we're no longer keeping the dead people in here, we can count all people in county. But this isn't. It still doesn't work because if they're going to be feeding the enemy army. Well, actually, they're going to be feeding the visiting hero, not the visiting army. So that's okay. Actually, this, I guess yeah, this is fine. I don't know why we don't need that in there anymore. Okay, so this is going to return number of people. Can I just make this all one line? This is some old shit. No, fuck you and your var. Can't we just go like, and like put you right here? No. I guess the answer is no. Return, can you put like ants here? No. Fine, go back to how it was. It seemed like that would be easier. All right. So that actually would be okay. You would, because you could have a diplomat there trying to soothe the war as the war is going down. Or you could have a spy in there. This is a weird way to do this, but that's fine. That's what we'll do. Is there enough food? We really need to rename this method. Because like Joker said, this is like a bool. It should be like returning a bool or something, but it doesn't. So what is this thing really doing? The population eats food. Population eats food. Feed everyone. Whoops. There we go. We'll get this out of here. What, you're not being used? I used the thing. The hotkey to rename. Okay, feed everybody. Get this out of here. We're getting drastic here. So the population AI, the population AI, we may have kind of gotten rid of this script because we haven't been in this script for probably over a year. The quartermaster should probably be doing this. Because this isn't, so while it does affect their happiness, the idea behind the population ID script, population AI script is that this is where they have like thoughts and feelings and do their own shit. But I guess we'll leave this here for now. All right, so what does this do? We have all of the people. If the amount of food is greater than or equal. Okay, so the reason we were doing this way is to try to not have it loop through all of the population over and over again. So what we're doing is we're doing the math for whatever this is. So this is 3, 2, 1. Okay. So if there's 3 times enough of the food for the amount of people, they're all going to eat, and they're going to get this. Well, this is strange too because we're not feeding the visiting hero. But there's a note here about it. But we're counting them up here. Let's put a note in once again. Feed visiting because this is also going to change when you change your this is some old strange code. Let's just add the visiting hero in here, and we'll just put a 0 for their happiness thing. We don't want to get there. Yeah, we set this up so that we don't have to. Visiting county population, heroes population visiting. We're not going to do the army though. We're just going to do the visiting hero list. Is this an int that you want in here? Yes, we're going to put a 0 in here. And then we will say here, we'll move this up. Visiting heroes named L2. We don't need this down here. They get no happiness bonus from it though. And then we should probably do it like a to-do so I don't forget about this. Improve relations with visiting heroes faction for feeding them. And what we'll do is we'll have like a thing in the faction panel where you'll be able to turn off that like you don't feed the like if you don't feed diplomats basically to try to get them to leave. And they did that in Japan. They Westerner diplomat. I can't remember. I think it was French or something. They came to visit Japan when it was all isolated, and he may have been American actually. They said, "Oh yeah, come on in, man, no problem." And then they like housed him in a swamp and stuff, just so he would leave. Didn't work. Okay, so then we have an else if in here. Amount of food is greater than or equal to, what is this thing like this? Food to gain nothing. What was this one called? Food to gain happiness, which was the 2. So they eat 2 food a day? I was literally thinking about this yesterday. I was like, they must only eat 1 food a day. But it looks like they eat 2 food a day. It's doing the math once again. Sorry, my music stopped. I gotta music you guys can hear. So they don't get any happiness for this. And then we need this needs to be down here as well. Because it doesn't really matter. Because we need to feed everybody regardless. This is a weird way to do this. I wonder if there's a better way to do this. I mean, there probably is a better way to do this. The better way is to loop through everyone and have everyone eat. Okay, else if the amount of food is greater than the amount of people, they lose happiness. So that they still lose happiness. They still lose happiness if they're only getting 1 food. This needs to be here though too. Eating less the food than okay, so what does this do? Else, are we looping through? No. Is feed everyone a loop? No. This must have a loop in it. And so if you don't feed them enough food versus if you feed them, there's got to be a better way to do this. I'm going to ask ChatGPT. I'm just curious what it would say because maybe there's some trick or some shit that I don't know. Who knows if it knows it. Is there a better way to do this? We will give it no extra information. Yeah, there's a lot of repetition in that complete. Right now, the only thing that really changes between your branches is how much food each group gets and indirectly the happiness effect. Decide the ration amount once based on food versus. Here's a refactor. Oh, okay. Well, that is a good idea, but it isn't. Okay, no, this is much better. So I think what's happening though, let's look at this last loop. I think what's happening, I know that I 100% know that feeling, Death. Basically every stream my brain needs to get warmed up. And then some days it just never gets warmed up. So we're passing in a Godot array for some reason of the population and then the amount. Then we get a list of the food. Okay, so it checks if there's the list that we passed in is less than 1 for some reason. We clear people who need to die. So this is part of our, no one's dying. So, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean this is wrong, but this is where people are should be starving. Yeah, see, and I put this, I thought maybe I left this commented out, but no. Um, sort the list to the food with the most is used. Sort the list to the food with the most is used first. What the fuck does that mean? With the most is used first? Okay, so we have a food list. Where are we getting this food list from? Oh, right, we have this get food list thing. I forgot about this. So we have, we're creating perishable and non-perishable. And then we go through for each good data in goods value. Okay, so it's going through the dictionary of all of the goods in the county data. If it equals food, and if it equals perishable, and the amount is greater than 0, we add it to the perishable. Why is there... Else if... What is this? What is going on here? What's the date on this code? Over a year ago. I never can remember how to close this little thing once I open it. There we go. wasn't that complicated? Okay, if it's so this is for the non-perishable. We added to the okay. So that seems. What do we do with this crap? We just add this shit to here and we return the food list. All right, that's pretty straightforward. So then, if the hungry is okay, then we clear the people who need to die. That makes sense, right? Yeah, maybe. We clear the people who needs to die because we haven't added anyone because we can't fuck with the lists while we're doing stuff to the list. So we're making a list of people who need to die. So if the perishable count is greater than 0, all right, sorts the whatever this means. So we sort with the most is used first. I know what I'm trying to say here. It just clicked. Sort the list so the food with the highest amount is used first. So the good data, we'll say food. Okay. So we have this thing, amount compared to amount, whatever. Have the people eat the perishable food that has the most amount. So we do the perishable food first. And that's why we're pulling this from 0. And what is this amount? Well, this is the thing we're passing in. So this is going to be that 3 times whatever. 3 times the people. Is that right? No, that's so this is what we're passing in. That's that global. So it would be 3 for the top and then 2 and then 1. What about when they starve? I know they used to starve, and occasionally when we've been running it, I see a little thing fly by that says that they're starving, and I've always like, why? How are they? What are these people starving? How are they starving? So okay, this is the amount that we're passing in. That's like the 3, 2, or 1. So if they have enough of the food in at 3, they take the food. If there's not enough food left for the next person, remove the food from the list. Okay, I think that's where we're coming up with this problem where there's 2 food left overall every time. Forever. Okay, so this is the first run. Check to see if there's enough non-perishable food. that's greater than 0. If the amount is greater, check to see if there's enough non-perishable food. And so this is why they're not starving. Okay, so this is why they're not starving. Because there's always there's those food is stuck in there. There's always those 2 food in there, so they never get to this. Because they're not eating, they can't eat. We need like a catch-all for the food. If there's, they just get the last of the food, and we're taking it off this list if it's less than this amount. So what happens? So wait, the food's at like 2. So in the county, there's 2 food, right? When this happens. So we're passing in the amount of 2, and we have the population list. Well, we actually have to go up 1. Holy shit, this is used a lot. We have to go up 1. So if the amount of food is greater than or equal this number is going to be like 60. So the amount of food is 2 at this point. It is not greater than or equal. So then it's going to go check this one. This is like still, once again, well, this one's like 90. This one's like 60. That's 2, so that is not going to pass. So then it's going to go to this one. And it's going to go, still, this is going to be 20. Sorry, 20, 40, 60. It's 2, so it does not, so it goes to this else. So they are still supposed to eat at this point. And then we get this food list, and then it's going to go through this list we passed in. And if the perishable food list count, so this is the perishable food, this is the list of items on the perishable food. So let's say there's 2 on there, 2, let's say 3. 3 items on the list. It's going to sort it by the one with the most. When we were looking at that one, we can actually run this probably. And I'm going to call it day any second here. I think we're on to something here. I just want to starve motherfuckers. Or I mean, I guess don't starve. So it's over 0. It's going to sort this list. And it's taking the top thing. If the amount is greater than amount, this amount that we're passing in here is what? This is this else. Food to lose happiness. It's 1. I know our problem. I think I know our problem. So we have 2 though in there. There should, oh, it's 1. No, it's 1. The problem is that this should be greater than or equals. Classic Josh move. We actually have 4 this time. Okay, no, it is 2. Yeah, it's because this should be greater than or equals. All this, you know what probably was happening is sometimes we would get lucky and the exact numbers would equal 0. So this one, have the people eat the parable that's the greater than or equal to the amount. So if you have the equal amount, you can get it because the amount should be 1 at this point. Well, actually down here or whatever, greater than or equal to 1. And if the amount is less than, so after they've eaten the food, if the amount is 1 and this is less than, so it'd have to be 0. Then we remove it. What do we got down here? Then the people starve. Literally, I think that's those 2 things. That was 2 characters. If this solves it, then I'm firing myself. All right, starve. This is gonna go down. No, we still have one in here. Croak. Starve. Oh, people are starving now, though. What food is available for these people to eat? There's one canned good. Oh, look at all these dead people. Eric, cook. Yeah, everyone's dead. Everyone has starved to death. Okay, so this worked. Why do we still have one food, though? Shouldn't they be fighting over that shit? So we're missing a greater than or less than or equal to somewhere. They're just too polite. Have you ever guys been to like I don't know, a party or something where there's food and there's always that one piece of food left because everyone's too polite to take the last piece? I have a friend, and he's from the East Coast, and whenever that happens, he's always like, "Hey, thanks everyone for leaving this for me," and he just takes it because what the fuck. Okay, so what's the problem? Why is there one left? Leo, thank you for the follow. I mean, everyone's starving, but why is there one left? Our whole population croaked. I didn't see how long that was. It was at least like in a month, everyone was dead. So that is what we wanted, and our list of dead people was correct too. Have the people. I should just push this code, but if there's not enough food left, if the amount is less than, if the amount of the food is less than this, I'm not gonna worry about it. We're getting the starvation. I mean, we'll run into this. I wrote this what, a year and a half ago, year and 3 months ago, and I just noticed the bug. Holy shit! Look at all the stuff we changed. All right, let's push this code. Then we're gonna call it a day. So what did we do today? Really, not much. It was a huge amounts of waste of time. Added a dead people list to the faction panel. Fix starvation. Mostly. All right, we'll push this code. We added 5 to-dos. And then next weekend we're gonna do like a ton of bug hunting because we stumbled across all of those bugs. This is now fixed though. We can close this. And yeah, no problem, Death. You have a good day too. Yeah, we gotta finish when people die in combat, which was the whole point of this. Yeah, so most of these are like little things. Then we'll be finally done with diplomacy, and then we'll go back to it's actually saving. It looks like the faction stuff's done. We'll actually be on saving, and then we'll finish those couple of things on saving. And then I actually want to kind of move multiplayer up to the top sooner because it's going to do the same chaos we caused with saving and loading. Stop getting me notification for your lives. I don't know. Me and Joker talk about YouTube all the time, and they're weird. Like, I've watched his videos, I've upvoted his videos on YouTube or whatever it's called. I give him a thumbs up. I've commented on his videos, and sometimes they just don't show me at all that there's a new video. And it's just like what else do you got to do? you know, it's so weird. And sometimes it will I'll Google something like archery because I bought that bow, and then suddenly my YouTube is filled with archery stuff. I did watch one archery video though. Now that I think about it, I did watch an archery video. So it's like, but it just fills up with that crap, and all the other stuff that I watch regularly is just gone. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's like that new content change that they did where it's like I was reading about this where they like on like people who were cuss too much or whatever, they put it in like some sort of weird filter of uh, vulgarity or something. I don't know. Those guys, Red Letter Media, were talking about it. Oh, that fixes it. Maybe I should do that with Joker's thing because I like almost never get a notification for Joker. I have another friend too, and the other day on my normal thing, just on my normal homepage, I also don't ever see his stuff on my other friend on my normal homepage. All of a sudden, there was a video for his there, and it had like crazy views and like upvotes, like way more than he normally gets. And I was like, holy shit. So I like watched it and gave it an upvote or whatever. And then when I watched like 30 seconds of it, and I was like, I'm gonna go back and watch it later. Well, then I couldn't find the thing, and I was like, where is this on his page and stuff? Anyways, I look back. It was like a 2-year-old video they had just suggested to me out of the blue, which was really weird too. Like, what? Yeah, I don't understand how YouTube does anything. Anyways, thank you guys for dropping by. I will see you next weekend. This doesn't look like we have, I mean, obviously it's going to take months and months, but it just doesn't look like these are going to be that challenging. Yeah, I will see you next weekend.